quote from Confucius, I think. He said that we all have two lives, and the second one starts when we realize we only have one.
Mhm.
So for me, this surgery was that one moment when I realized a lot of things, which the regrets, the part of things that I overthink, the things, my perspectives in life. For example, one of the major perspectives that genuinely changed for me was the fact of legacy. Right? Might sound odd, but I no longer believe in legacy. I don't believe in the fact that 100 years from now I should be remembered as the greatest human being, the greatest comedian that ever walked on this earth. I don't want that. I want to live in the moment. I want to live the maximum that I can, doing every day what I genuinely love. That's like the best life for me. There is no afterlife. We don't have any proof of that. Whatever it's this moment, and
Mhm.
that has genuinely that has worked really well for me.
Mhm. Mhm. Thank you for coming on the Indian Startup Show today.
Hey Neil, thank you for inviting me. It's a pleasure.
Awesome. Great stuff. Please tell everyone what you do.
Okay, so currently I'm a comedian, I'm a storyteller, and I'm a coach. Just to give you a background, I'm from India, so I did like one of the most Indian things ever. I did engineering, then I did MBA, and then finally I moved to this new world of comedy.
Mhm.
And I've been doing it for quite some time, and currently I'm doing this full time.
Oh, okay. Thanks. How are things going right now? When did you start this amazing journey?
It's been almost like 10 years.
Wow.
So this is the story starts when I was doing my MBA, and that is when the rise of stand-up comedy had begun in India. Unfortunately, I was in the epicenter of it. So I was pursuing my MBA from Mumbai,
Mhm.
which is like the Bollywood and all the celebs and all the new things that are like coming up, very open to new art forms. And that is where like stand-up comedy, especially for AIB and TVF, etc., Zakir Khan, these guys were coming up. And I was there. I was really intrigued by it. I had some like theater background in terms of my, not professional training, but yes, I used to do some skits and all in college or like in my companies, and I was attracted towards this. So I tried this, and this is where things really shaped up for me. In fact, the first time that I did was it was so pathetic. I was booed off stage like within just like 5 minutes. 5 minutes I was there. I was like, you have to go and this and that. And these are like my college people, the so-called friends that were there in the audience. They
Mm.
were like, you're so bad. And these are the same people who had requested me to go on the stage.
How did you
Yeah.
feel
So,
about that then?
oh, I felt, I think it was that night is something I just cannot forget because I'm generally a very sound sleeper. Like,
Mm.
I can sleep any day, anytime, irrespective of the noises, whatever. But that is one of those nights in my life that I couldn't sleep. And not because I was like, booed off stage. It was not the insult part of it. It was the high that I got from being on stage, from being there, even for just like 5 minutes,
Mm.
right? And I thought, okay, I'm not good at it. That's one part, but I genuinely enjoyed it. It is so thoroughly soul fulfilling that I need to work on it. So, and that was like one night I didn't sleep at all. I was like, just like walking around the campus throughout, and that's when I decided that I will like invest more into this in terms of my effort, learn more about it, and so it happened. Fortunately, the circle got completed. So by the end of the year, because I was like performing at every event now, any
Mm.
event,
Mm.
any classroom, in between the teachers, like the faculties going in and out, and we had some extra time. I used to go up, just like try my some jokes, like so-called open mics in college. And by the end of the year, I when I performed for like the freshers party for the next batch, I got a standing ovation by like 200 people.
Wow.
So yeah, so I think
Turn,
it just
turned
became
it
a
around
good
in
start.
style.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Yeah.
How did you teach yourself comedy then? Was it just like taking one day at a time, taking topics, breaking them down?
Yes, I think once we are starting, right, and like even if like this is being like if people are listening who want to start stand-up comedy or like they're just like in the initial phase, right? So what you do is you go for those low-hanging fruits. So for example, what are the relevant topics for you and your audience? So for example, if I'm in college, there'll be a lot of subtext, a lot of context already built in. What
Mm.
is that? Maybe it's the colleges, it's the teachers, it's the canteen, it's the the cuisines, it's the nightlife of the college, whatever that is, right? So you try to hit upon those common things, and then as you go deeper into, like, as you expand your audience, you have to understand how can you go deeper into those common things.
Mm.
And so when I started off, it was, absolutely like surface level jokes, where it's like, okay, my mother's like this, my father's like this, and our college is this and that, right? And then you start going deeper into what actually affects you as a person,
Mm.
right? And what is it that genuinely makes an emotional response out of you? Then you coat it with a layer of comedy. So this is what I feel. I have a theory of it's called as LCM theory of comedy,
Mm.
where, like, whenever I teach or whenever I have to advise someone, right, this is what I tell them. Okay, in school we used to do, in maths we used to do, have an LCM kind of a concept, which is like a lowest common multiple, right? So if you have to expand the audience, try to reach out or try to go deeper into the LCM part, right?
Yeah.
So what does that mean? It means, for example, if Neil and I are on a conversation, and, like, there are like 100 Neils in the audience.
Mm.
So what is it that can that will bind all the Neils? Because it's like the clones, it will always be the same things. Now you start replacing one Neil with another person who's, like, say for example, Neil's neighbor. So what is it that is binding now 100 people? It's probably the neighborhood. And then you replace the third Neil with someone who is, like, in London, but not in neighborhood,
Mm.
right? Then what is it? Then the LCM is like London. So
Ah, okay.
as you start replacing those people, and then that is when you start going to the deeper the LCM part, because
Mm.
that will form a connect for all the 100. Now it's not no longer 100 Neils. Now
Mm.
it's like the shape of Theseus. Now each Neil we have changed with something else. But that is how you'll connect with the 100 audience.
Beautiful, beautiful. And you've done 1,200 comedy shows.
Yes,
Absolutely
yes.
amazing. What do you how do you feel about that? You must be very proud of yourself doing that. 1,000. 1,000. That's a lot of people. That's a lot of jokes. That actually.
That's a lot of jokes. It's a lot of people. That's so many nights out there, and so many emotions.
Mm.
Because sometimes the shows are good. Sometimes the shows are like, oh my god, what am I doing, and why am I doing
Mm.
all this?
Mm.
So it's a fulfilling journey. And
Mm.
what happens is that once you are, like, on stage almost every day, right?
Mm.
This just becomes a part of your nature,
Yeah.
and then you are just, like, escalating your own, understanding what is your comfort zone, and then how do you go beyond that. So currently, whosoever is, like, in whatever journey they are,
Mm.
right? If I'm like at 1,200 shows right now, if you wake me up at 3 a.m. in the night, in the middle of the sleep, put me on stage, I will be able to deliver an hour-long show, right? That's like my comfort zone. But then
Mm.
what else can I do? How can I
Mm.
enrich the experience for the next 300 shows that are coming up? Like,
Mm.
if today I have to go on stage, what is it that I will be doing today that I have not done yesterday or in the past year or in the past 10 years of comedy?
Mm.
So
So it's basically you're trying to,
that
yeah, you're basically trying to stay ahead of the curve, as it were. Yeah. Okay.
yes, stay ahead of the curve and try to again, especially in creative fields, what happens is it's so easy for us to compare ourselves, and it's so difficult for us not to compare ourselves, right? Because there will be someone doing something better than you in some of the fields. But then the core idea is, how can you compare yourself to yesterday's self?
Mm.
And what is it that you can push yourself into? Okay, this is something that I like, this is something that I would like to try, right? And then go out, try it, in terms of comedy, in terms of whatever field that you're in, right? And especially, like, for me it's comedy, so I try to address like different kind of jokes. I try to address different kind of characters,
Mm.
right? What is it that now, right now my focus is, how can audience engagement and audience experience be elevated to a new level,
Mm.
right? So if they come to my show, it's not just about, like, okay, hearing jokes, laughter. It's something that they take away with,
Mm.
right? 5 years down the line, if I meet them on the street and they'll be like, oh yes, I remember you had called me on stage and we had a great time. So
Yeah.
something like that.
Yeah.
That's something like beyond
Yeah.
1,200. That's what I'm looking
Yeah. But after 10 years of doing this, you must have a following now. You must be like an
for.
established person. So do you have like? It must be easier for you to say, look, I'm appearing today at this place, and people will turn up as well.
I
No. Did you
I
still
wish.
are you still scared of people not turning up after 1,200 comedy shows?
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Like it's always such a, what happens is like once things are your passion, they're at a certain level. But once you start making uh, comedy or like career out of it, what really happens is that you start numbers game start playing.
Mm,
Okay, you had you had like 50 seats in your audience, right? Will there be new 50 people in your audience next in the next show or not? And that's always there, right? Till the time the tickets are not being sold, so that's always there. And irrespective of whatever place you're in, I think it could be 50 for me, 500 for someone else, 5 for someone else. But
mm,
that numbers game is it's always there. It's always at the back of your mind. It's like almost like a artist's curse, I would say.
But as a comedian, then what
Hmm.
is the ultimate gig then for you? Then what is your dream
Oh,
scenario?
so I think, yeah, so I think almost it was surreal for me. So I performed for like more than 2,000 people,
Wow.
and it was a show. I was not like, it was like not my show. It was Zakir Khan's show. Zakir Khan's like brilliant, famous comedian of India, right?
Mm,
And I was opening for him, and I think w- the first time that I stepped on stage, and like I was very nervous in terms of because like 2,000 people, the number in itself it becomes so pressurizing in your head. But the minute I went on stage, I realized this major thing that the numbers, the as the numbers increase, right, your pressure decreases.
mm,
Because especially in comedy, right, what happens is comedy is you like almost like throwing darts, because you have certain jokes, and that LCM, you're just like finding more people like you who will be able to associate with the joke, laugh at your joke. And once your set expands, the area of that bullseye or the dart board, right, that increases. So
mm,
now you have greater number of people who might be able to associate with your jokes, who might be able to give you a loud laughter or an applaud. And once that happens, it's almost like a priming effect. It's like a laughter wave.
mhm,
So
mhm.
so that is one day, like I genuinely remember, it was great as a comedy experience. And again, that's like probably almost the high, but then I've almost had lows, not just about the one that I did in college for the first time, but even
Mm.
otherwise when something's not right. With, maybe I'm not in full energy. The audience has come back from probably there's a couple in the audience who have just fought over pasta, and now they're sitting in front of me expecting me to tell them jokes to help them mend their relation.
How
So
do you
I'll,
how do you deal with the heckling then? Obviously, it always happens at comedy shows, usually on a Friday night. You always get one guy, usually, and it is usually a guy as well. So,
yes, I think that's a very valid
do
question.
you expect it's going to happen? Then are you already like primed and ready? Yeah.
Yes, I think over a period of time, because it's like it's almost like Thanos just collecting those Infinity Stones, right? So this is how you do it. Like for example, first thing is you have to be comfortable on stage. Then you have to have jokes. Then you have to have the confidence of it being on stage, jokes, and then probably comes hecklers, right? How do you handle those hecklers? So then you start building your armor according to that. Okay, what is this why is this person heckling me, right? And 99 times out of 100, it's not that the person wants the show to go bad. It's just that this person has subconscious prestige that I can help this guy on stage to make the show better. I can help this guy to, like, because I'm a funny person in my friend circle. So if I'm talking to this guy, it'll create a funny scene. So you just have to be like, in a sense, okay, this is my show, right? If you want to have a funny conversation, we can have this outside. But then one of the things that I have really found, which has helped me in handling hecklers, is not to antagonize them, not to be suppress them with force or something. You have to have a conversation with them, because at the end of the day, they are humans. They are there. They paid the money for the show, and they usually get around with something, like, unless the person is, like, drunk and like completely sloshed, or you want, then you have to have like people who will probably escort him outside.
Mm.
And because what also happens during such cases is that you are on stage, there are like 40 people listening to you, and one idiot who is ruining the show. Remember that 39 people are there with you. The room is against this one person. So it's not like this person, the 39 people are going to go back or like say, what are you doing? It's like they know this person is there who needs to be handled. So sometimes we have to call in the bouncers. Okay, please escort this person outside. There's no winning over him. That's what happens.
Calling the bouncers, my word.
Yeah.
Yeah, you mentioned at the start of the podcast, MBA and engineer.
Yeah.
What were your thought? What were the thoughts of your friends and family then when you said you were going to do this stand up?
Oh, they were. I don't think the thoughts have changed. They are still devastated. My mother still goes to temple just to pray to God. Better sense prevails on my son. He comes back to a normal job. My wife is still. I recently became a dad, so my wife is still. Every week she's like, now you're a dad. You have to be more responsible, and this is probably a career, but probably not a career. How are you going to handle the uncertainties versus the kind of job that you were in? Like I was in consulting earlier, right? So it's been difficult for them, but I think over a period of time what happens is that it's almost like a fight that you have to fight. It's almost like you plant a sapling, and then this sapling grows, and then there's this point where this sapling has to fight the mud, or like the just the top of the mud, which is like the hardest part. But once it does it, it blooms, right? So that fight is it's almost there.
Bloom's nice. In terms of the jokes, then, is there anything that you stay away from? People are sort of like easily offended these days. Would you ever like talk about jokes on religion and politics and things like that, or you think today you stay
Yeah,
away?
yeah. Yeah. So I think religion is a major one, especially in India, where we stay away from it, right? And then, of course, like politics has now opened up
Okay.
pretty much. Yeah, especially after the recent protests in the country. If you follow that news,
Yeah.
where we had an education minister, resigning because of that. So that's something opened up. One thing that's a very important thing is I also teach comedy.
Yeah.
Right. So as a beginner, and especially because if I'm teaching improv, right, improv is like a lot about like anything can happen, like, and then there's this one person who wants to bring in those jokes just to be funny. So this is a framework that I came up with, and this is a framework I genuinely instill in the minds of people who are at least starting comedy. It's called as a PQRS framework. Okay, so PQRS stands for certain areas which I expect people not to touch upon, at least initially, right? So P is politics, political. You can have a right wing brain or a left wing brain, or like whatever alignment you have. Let's not bring that to stage initially. Get comfortable, get things aligned, and then maybe in the later stages of your career, get those things. Q is queer. uh, Different people, different sexualities, fluidities. Let's not go into that direction of offending people, because that's a sensitive topic. So we should not. We should just be inclusive about it. R is religion. In India, especially, it's extremely sensitive because we have like people from all parts of the country, different religions. Everything is like so fragile that we should not, you know, go into the zone where we cannot come back. And S is sex. Now, this is something which is like it just depends. We are all adults, but that does not mean that we have to go to adult content. Let's explore content which is clean, family friendly initially, and once you're just comfortable, and of course, like if you're like doing a 11 p.m. night blue show, that's a different thing. But regularly, if you are able to follow this PQRS, chances of you offending people in the audience is like significantly less.
Okay, yeah, and talk about your coaching then. How's that going? Do you do classes every week, or is it every month, or how long are their classes, and who's turning up to these courses?
So I started teaching. I started with teaching improv.
Yeah.
And I've been teaching improv for like many years now. And a lot of people who want to do improv is like because improv is still gaining grounds in the country, right? So people who understand the fact. So fun thing is they've seen like whose line is it anyway, and then there's another set of people who understand the applications of improv in terms of communication, in terms of stage present, in terms of the fact that you just become a better person, better listener. You extract all these things and you put it in your professional world, personal world, right? So, for example, Dick Costello, who was Twitter's CEO, right? He did improv in Chicago for like like 2 or 3 years, and he has implemented a lot of those in his expansion and during his when he was like the CEO in Twitter and even otherwise in his professional career. So a lot of those people come to improv, and of course, like they have good time. Sundays are like they come for Sundays, and improv always leads to laughter. So it's like no pressure. You already have someone. So that's one kind of people. Second, what I teach is also humor,
Mm.
right? And this is not just about performance as a thing, but also about how do you add humor to your say, speeches and stories and presentations. Because I particularly feel humor is a great, the sense of humor is like a sixth sense that we have, and it's incredibly powerful tool that you can use if you have it, right?
Yeah.
In whatever walk of life that you live in, there's no denying that. So, and this is what I was inspired by. There's a course in Stanford University which teaches humor, and this course carries equal weightage as out of like any financial credit,
Mm.
or a finance or a marketing credit in the MBA university. So I was fascinated by it. So I learned more about it and understand like being a comedian, I also have a corporate world. So bringing both of them together. So that's another course that I do, or that's another workshop that I do. Where people just come to understand how can they. So, for example, a lot of people of the startup owners, right, the entrepreneurs,
Mm.
because they have to pitch a lot, almost every month, almost every like fortnight, they have to pitch to VCs. So how can they just add humor to it? So that's another thing. And then finally is like stand-up comedy. That's something I've recently started, where in terms of my coaching, where I teach people who are like relatively amateurs or like who want to be a comedian one day, right? So what are the basic rules of stand-up comedy? How do you approach uh, a thought and you convert that into a comedic angle? So what are the tools that comedians use worldwide
Mm.
to make sure that they just like, evoke a laughter? That's so those are the three kind of workshops that I do
Mm. Mm.
for like
Yeah.
individuals, and then like similar things for corporate, where for like improv and like facilitation, corporate trainings, etc.
Mm. It must be difficult if someone's like really boring or they've got a boring product to sell.
Boring is just an angle
Mm.
to it, right? And what my advice is going to be, just try to look at it from different angles.
Yeah.
What are the different angles, right? For example, the best of the movies, I recently saw Odyssey. I liked it, right? Like friends who don't like it. So boring is like it's just like one angle, one perspective. But then you can have like different perspectives on the same product. And for them, I would genuinely advise maybe the humor or the comedy part is secondary, but like have go for an improv class, mine or
Mm.
like anyone else's, because that just opens up your mind. There's so
Mm.
many things that you can do. There's so many things that we already have,
Mm.
which improv just brings out of us, right? So whatever that product is, and leave the product aside, get the skills first, and then apply those skills to the product.
Mm.
No matter, like for example, you are selling a typewriter in today's world, right? But what can you do, or what are the different exercises that you can implement from improv to the world of typewriter that will just make typewriter interesting? And
Mm.
I'm 110% sure improv is going to give you that.
Mm. Oh, okay, yeah. Let's talk about the business of comedy then. It is huge.
Mhm.
Content creation. Obviously, everyone's trying to be a content creator, telling jokes on YouTube, TikTok. How are you finding
Mhm.
that side of it then? Do you have a strategy, or you just post things on YouTube or etc.? Obviously, TikTok's banned in India, so you can't do that.
Yeah. I think what has sure. So yes, the business of comedy, and especially the comedians, started feeling a lot of pressure
Yeah.
from TikTok, or like at least Instagram reels or YouTube shorts, and the comedy market itself has changed drastically after COVID, because right now it's not like the comedy is not just competing with comedy, it's competing with everything else. It's everything
Mm.
else out in the world which is like it has much better hook. It just like catches your attention, and it could be something absolutely useless to you. It could be like how do you make bread without the yeast, and then you just like scrolling it, like you're wasting, or like you're seeing this video because it has such great hooks and such great camera transitions and this and that, and then you realize, oh, I don't want to know about bread and the yeast, right? So So that's what comedy is competing against, and that's why comedians have a lot of pressure today to put out their material at a much more effective and much more efficient, in a much more efficient way. That the more jokes that they're able to put out, and that's where I would feel that uh, a lot of sets of comedy being written today are catered to the internet audience,
Mm.
where people write with this thing in mind. Okay, these are the jokes that I'm writing to have a reel or a YouTube short cut out of
Yeah.
this, right? So that's a different perspective that has changed for comedians, and especially with the content creators like coming in now. Now it's like almost like switching from here to there. A lot of content creators, at least in India, now they want to do comedy on stage
Mm.
because they have had the flavor of online audiences. Now they want to have that high of performing in front of 5 people, 50 people, 500 people, and get that. So it's almost like a circular reference in an Excel sheet.
Mhm.
This is doing that and that is doing this. The the future I feel would be similarly like something sort of a hybrid where comedians have to put material online as efficiently as possible, and even content creators they have to look for new avenues to make sure that they remain relevant. I read somewhere that a content creator has or a decent content creator has a shelf life of 7 years,
Wow.
and then like beyond that they have to look for something else. It could be business, it could be say performances, it could be collabs or something, but they have to look out for those venues. So that's what is happening in comedy in terms of the content creation part.
Mm. Interesting. And in terms of the comedy scene in India,
Mhm.
how's that looking now in 2026? Is Bangalore, Mumbai still the main two cities?
Right. So, that's a very nice question. Because I have a very strong perspective on that. Of
Mhm.
the like, so 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 right now there are like three epicenters of comedy in India. One is Delhi, then there is Mumbai, and then there is Bangalore. In no particular order,
Mhm.
because each of them have a different flavor. And I'm in Delhi right now, Delhi
Mhm.
NCR, right? Uh, and this is an advice which I give to, because a lot of people approach me, especially from like tier two cities. Okay, we need to do comedy. Where should we move? Right? Is it Delhi, Mumbai, Bangalore? Because these are three epicenters of maximum comedy shows happening. So Delhi is a place which gives you a lot of strong audience, where if you are on stage, you cannot be lax about it. You cannot be like too comfortable about it, because Delhi's audience is ruthless. I don't have a parallel to give to you like how it happens in England. But in
Mhm.
Delhi, if you are not telling good jokes, if you're not making them laugh, right, they will tell you on your face, dude, you are not funny. Get off stage. Right? Why am I wasting my time on you? They'll pull out their mobile, they'll start watching reels right in front of you. That's what Delhi audience gives you. That pressure. Right? Mumbai is a place where the audience is relatively lighter, right? And they, of course, they're like very warm. They appreciate the fact, oh my god, this guy is going on stage, right? Uh, I wouldn't be able to do this, so let's support him or her. And the fact that Mumbai also gives you the opportunity of writing, as in like, because comedians not they don't earn just from like comedy
Yeah.
shows, right? You have to like have more avenues. Their avenues is writing for movies or art films or web series, right? So all that is based out in Mumbai. So if people who are like okay, I want to get some revenue out of say writing as well, then Mumbai is a great place. And then Bangalore is sort of a mix where it does not have so much of a writing, but it has good audience in terms of they won't be ruthless to you. And these are like a very techie kind of people, right? Who are drained from their entire day's work, and then they're like, okay, tell us some jokes, and then even the low hanging fruits for them are, oh my god, you are very funny, or like we are there to support. So those are the three things, like wherever people want to be. I think the why is very important. What different cities or different epicenters of comedy in India are offering other comedians.
Mm. Mm. Interesting stuff. And you said you mentioned you just become a dad. Has that changed your jokes? Have you got more material, as it were?
Oh yes, my I before going out to open mics, I test my jokes on my like 3 months old daughter. Yeah. If she poops, I know the joke sucks. So,
Crazy.
but yeah, so it's like a different experience. I think uh, one of the things with comedy writing, especially, and one of the things that keeps it relevant is that whatever experience you have in life is something that you take on stage, right? So if I became a dad, that is something, it has given me a perspective, and then I just quote it with jokes. I make it hilarious for people, and then I take it on the stage. So right now, my challenge is how do I? I think it's a good challenge to have. Is if I'm a dad, right, and then there are a lot of like young people in the crowd who are not mothers or who are not like parents, etc., or probably even like elder ones who are not parents who decide not to be parents. How can I make my material more relatable to them? Now that's something I'm like working towards.
Mm,
Because again, the LCM part, okay, that's one thing. Okay, what are the things that can generally relate with people? Maybe it's a parent, maybe it's money, maybe it's career, right? Maybe it's the weather. But what about such things? How can I? It's like challenge that I'm working on day out. How can I tell them my struggles with my baby, and I make them feel the same emotions too.
Excellent. And obviously AI is a big thing now. What are your thoughts
Yes.
on AI? It seems to be everywhere these days. Do you use it? Do you not use it? Do you have pros and cons? Have you tried it, etc.? It was a big topic, but
Yes, I think particularly I'm still struggling with AI, as honest as I can be, because I come from an old school thought of especially from the comedy background. Okay, I have a perspective. I need to write it down. So every day I'm sitting with a paper and a pen and I write it down. Okay, what is it? And then I see AI coming in. I am completely not sure of how can AI help us, because I'm still trying to like get into that. Okay, what is it that if I have a premise, I have a setup punchline, should I give it to AI or not? I think a lot of times it's a moral dilemma for me in the first place.
mm,
So I don't have a particular answer for that, or say like as honest as I can be. So thing that I'm still struggling with. But what I do find where AI can help me, and I do use AI for, is in terms of things. What is my core competency? My core competency as a comedian is writing jokes,
mm,
right? What is it? What are else things in the world which are consuming time for me, which I don't want to do,
mm,
right? And that is the content creation or the social media part that we're talking about, right? So handing over those AI, those things to AI, which is something which is like not my forte. I don't even want to spend time on it, which is like, for example, posting things, which is like captioning things, which is like, okay, even probably editing things in terms of the content creation that we have, right? Give me a social media calendar. Give me, for example, this month, what are the major miles or like major days that I can
mm,
create content on,
mm,
right? So those are the transactional tasks that I'm still getting the AI to do. But
mm,
how is AI going to turn comedy is still, I think a lot of people are divided over it. Whether
mm.
should you not use it? But overall, whenever I have used it, I have it's not my taste. AI
No,
in terms, especially of the core competency of writing jokes.
that's fair enough. Fair enough. Yeah, I met you through LinkedIn, and I know LinkedIn's got an AI slop button now. Um, what do you think of that?
Yes. I see the comments on my post and I'm like, oh, I can tell you which platform you used. Okay. At least have like originality. Like people are just like in the pretext of using AI, they are like using it AI everywhere. And this is the brain rot is absolute real because of this. Because especially AI will come, maybe it will replace a lot of jobs, but it will never erase that human connection. People will have to go do their work, whatever that is. Me as a comedian, I have to go on stage, face 50 people. You as a screenwriter, you will have, if you write a screen play, you'll have to pitch it to directors right in front of them.
Mm,
You will not have an AI doing it for you, right? And that is something. Those are the things that I'm just not sure why are people not understanding, or like why people outsource everything to AI. Even if it's just a LinkedIn comment, right? You can just like write in whatever you think. It's a sea of comments. It's not going to make or break your career in any way.
um,
Yeah. It's almost like management lessons. I from boiling milk. It's right. Five things I learned while cleaning my car. All these things, and like, of course, all they have to do is like give it a prompt, and like, of course, AI is never going to challenge you for anything. AI is always going to, oh, that's a great idea. That's a great thought, Ankur. We should write on, and these are the 5 points. Okay, so here you are. You have a yes man with you always.
yes,
you
man,
know.
100%. Yeah. One thing that's not linked in AI slop was the post you did about having open heart surgery at 35.
Yes. Yes.
Um,
Yes.
so it sounds like a life and death situation there. I mean, talk about that.
Yeah, so that was like almost like God's blessing in
Mm,
terms of I just like so before I like moved like out of my corporate career into full-time comedy,
mm,
right? I was uh, I was like working for a consulting firm, and one of the benefits that they provided was that they used to give us annual health checkups for free,
okay.
right?
Mm,
Yeah, right. So and then I thought, like, you know what, I'm like going to resign anyways, and then I won't have this benefit. So let's just go and utilize this benefit, right? Before putting in my paper. So 5th of April, I was resigning. 4th April, I went. I'll just utilize this. I think it's like 10-20,000 bucks in Indian rupees. So I went in, and then the doctor checked, and the doctor's like, you know what? I have an inkling that your heart is not right.
oh,
And I, yeah, and honestly, the first thought that in my mind was, yeah, I mean, this doctor understands me because my heart is there in comedy, but I'm working in consulting, and this is what he is, referring to. And I'm like, so good, doctor, like, not just a stethoscope, you are like the human connection the world needs today. And he's like, no, I'm talking about your heartbeat. Okay, so go and get these tests done. And so it got done, and then I got to know that I have a congenital issue in my
ah,
heart. Basically, what happens is that people are born with, so this is aorta, which like sends blood from heart to all the parts
mm,
of the body, and then there's a valve that prevents that blood from coming back to the heart. It's almost like a one-way door, right? And usually people have three valves in over there, which is like a natural thing, and I had two. I think that's like a by birth kind of a defect. And like when I got to know again, I was like so scared. I asked the doctor, is it like, why did it happen? Because in my mind, it was like, all the drinks and the smokes and all the late night parties. And I was like, my family is going to screw me over for all this. Yeah, like, I always told you, Ankur, you should not be doing this. And then he was like, no, it's a by birth kind of a thing.
mm,
The
mm,
kind of pressure I was relieved, man. Oh, this is my parents. It was super. The kind of, this power status switch that happened with me. I was like, my parents, you gave me this, you gave me this. So then I went for a surgery. There's no other alternative for this. So it's usually in men. It's always
yeah.
like just like percent of people. And I went for the surgery. It was major surgery, almost like more than 10 hours. And then I finally recovered. It was a recover. Even recovering was a major phase that I never thought I would be able to, cope up with. It was
Mm,
extremely. I was in an acute depression
mm,
post surgery, and it's like something I got to like usually happens with such major surgeries. You hear a lot of blood loss. Your mind is not right. And I was in acute depression. I didn't eat. I didn't speak to anyone like for almost a week after my surgery.
mm,
So, but then that honestly gave me a lot of perspective in life
mm,
of what actually is relevant. So this is a quote from Confucius, I think. He said that we all have two lives, and the second one starts when we realize we only have one.
mhm,
So for me, this surgery was that one moment when I realized a lot of things, which the regrets, the part of things that I overthink, the things, my perspectives in life. For example, one of the major perspectives that genuinely changed for me was the fact of legacy. Right? Might sound odd, but I no longer believe in legacy. I don't believe in the fact that 100 years from now I should be remembered as greatest human being, the greatest comedian that ever walked on this earth. I don't want that. I want to live in the moment. I want to live the maximum that I can. doing every day what I genuinely love. That's like the best life for me. There is no afterlife. We don't have any proof of that. Whatever it's this moment, and
Mhm.
that has genuinely that has worked really well for me.
Because on one of the pictures you posted yourself in hospital, I'm sure you were writing some jokes. You're writing something down.
Yes, yes, yes. I was. Oh man, and it
Still,
was like
still working.
yeah, of things were happening. I had zero say of what to eat. I had zero say of where to go, and this is like all pre-operation, right? Where then there's this someone who comes in like 3 a.m. in the night and tells me he's to shave all my hair, entire hair, like except for like this. Of course, like all my hairs are gone, right? Because this is like it has to be done, it has to be operated, right? What is it? My surgery was supposed to like was scheduled in 2 days, and then it was advanced in 1 day. So
Mm,
all those things, just like
mm,
got compacted in that diary that I I usually don't talk about.
mm,
But yes, that's what I do. I usually try to write every day. I think more than the jokes part of it. Jokes
mm,
is still a conscious effort, but writing every day is something that a writer, because I mean, at the end of the day, is a writer should be doing. And this is what like the best of the writers have always advised.
mm,
Don't skip a day, or even if you're doing it, don't skip 2 days, but write every day, whatever you want to, whatever's there in your mind. That's
mm,
like that helps you.
mm. Yeah, a bit like exercise. You got to keep
Yeah,
sort of
yeah, yeah, yeah,
keep running,
absolutely.
as it
Yeah.
were. So, yeah. Last few questions then. Is anyone you like to thank on your journey? Obviously the doctor, but anyone else?
For the heart operation journey, or for like the journey of the
The whole
life?
journey, yeah, yeah. Oh, your journey, the journey so far. So,
The journey so far, yeah, I think it's like so. I feel uh, there are like so many people in the lives of everyone that you would really run out of uh, that list. And of course, it starts with your parents, starts with your wife, it starts with your family. But then there are like so many people around there in the world who have, in one way or the other, contributed to whosoever you are and like whosoever you are today. Just a few days back, I remembered this one person uh, whom I haven't spoken to like in I don't know, maybe like 10 years or so,
mm,
and he's the person who came. So I was working in a company back before my MBA,
yeah.
right? And I was preparing for a government exam, a government bank exam, because that's something that's like really considered prestigious in an Indian middle class family.
Mm,
And then this person comes in, and he's a smart person. He's just like a smart chap, and I don't even know him. Like, he's not a friend. He's just an acquaintance because we work in the same company. I just know his name probably. And he's a smart chap. He just comes to me and like, "Oh, what are you doing?" And I just told him that I'm just solving these problems because I have an upcoming exam. And he was like, "Why are you doing this, dude? You are an MBA material. Why would you sit in a regular bank job in some part of the
mm.
country where you are not going to explore yourself?" He just said this and walked out.
Wow.
He, yeah. And it just like hit me so hard that yes, that's so true. That I've been like, under this societal pressure of getting a good job versus and actually understanding who I am. And it's just coming from third person, it just like resonates with my true thoughts, that those three M thoughts. And this is what has led me to my journey today. Had I not listened to the advice, I would have given a bank exam. I would not have like done the MBA from Mumbai, the epicenter where comedy is happening. I would have been there. I would have had a very, very, very different life.
Mhm,
So there are like so many people, my parents, my family, this person whom like I haven't like spoken to in like 10 years, my friends who have been supportive. I remember the standing ovation part that I told you in college, right? Uh, I had written so crass jokes before that one of my friends who just like happened to see those. I didn't even run it through like with anyone. Right? He was like, "Oh my god, these jokes are not going to land, because it's like this or it's like that." And then I had to like change a lot of those jokes. I had to get in a lot of those perspectives just a couple of nights before. So thanking this person, so there are like hundreds of people that I'd like to thank, and
mm,
I think all of us should have a gratitude list for people to thank for like for whatever they've done, whatever they've
mhm.
achieved.
Awesome stuff. What are your plans for the future then?
So future, I think I'm pretty sorted in terms of what I want to do. I think
Yeah.
comedy is my go-to thing. Uh, it's always going to be about comedy, storytelling, uh, coaching part of it. Uh, so it's going to be performance. It's going to be coaching. It's going to be something that I can do for for the society in general.
Yeah.
Right. Using the tool that I have. Right. If it is not money, what else is it that I can give? Can I give people a good show for like
Mm.
for some NGOs or something? So that's my future plan is centered around comedy and humor.
Mhm.
I One of the things I genuinely want to expand in India right now is that understanding of humor as well. I want to take courses on humor where I want to like teach people how can they use it in their lives. Their lives are so stressful these days.
Mm.
How can they just like elevate that humor question so that it's not just only for your gains, it's also for your own mental health.
Mm.
So anything that I do, it's almost the nucleus is comedy, and then there'll be branches out of it.
Awesome stuff. Yeah. So last question then. If people want more information on you, or if they want to sign up to your courses, if they want to see you live, or see you on YouTube, how can they connect with you?
Sure. So you can on LinkedIn. I am like Ankur Nigam. I think we are already connected, right? If you and this is what I'm trying to optimize. It's already optimized to a large extent. Wherever you search Ankur Nigam comedy, I'll appear.
Okay.
So it's as simple as that. So you can Google me. You can go to YouTube, Instagram, LinkedIn, Ankur Nigam comedy, and I'm the first result.
Ankur, thank you for coming on the show today. Really, really appreciate it.
Well, thank you so much, Neil. Thank you so much. It was a wonderful conversation. I genuinely loved it.
Next time I'm in Bangalore, definitely have to check you out.
Sure,
See
sure,
you.
absolutely.
I won't heckle you though. So
Oh,
you probably
no,
won't
don't worry,
understand.
don't worry.
You probably won't understand my accent anyway. If I did.
Yeah. I'll probably you will be the odd one out over there, so you will be my center of jokes. So thank you so much, Neil. Thank you. Yeah. But
Awesome stuff.
if I am in London, may I plan to visit the Fringe Festival next year. So
Yeah,
maybe,
definitely, 100%.
Yeah, so maybe that's when we can catch up in person.
Awesome stuff. Thank you, Ankur. Appreciate that. Yeah.
I liked it.
Was there anything else you want to talk about?
No, I think this was it.
We covered it.
There was one thing I wanted, but then I think we didn't have enough time.
Okay.
The Pixar thing that I was talking about.
Yeah.
Right. The 22 rules, of which there is one rule which is like the base part of it, which gives storytelling is like anyone can start storytelling even with a blank page and a pen. It's called as the Pixar story framework, which is it has like seven steps, like once upon a time and every day.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
Right, so it's like a basic structure of storytelling, but it is put in such a way that anyone can write a story of whatever they want, because the element of change is there, the element of initial world, after world, everything is there based on that framework. And one interesting thing about that Pixar story structure is that so how it came to Pixar. So one of the creative directors, they took an improv class by a guy called as Ken Adams in US. And Ken Adams had this structure which is called as a story spine.
Yeah.
Then this.
Sorry.
Sure. And then this creative that you want to do? Yeah.
No, I just dropped my water. That's all.
Shit. Okay.
Go carry on.
Yeah. And then this creative director got so inspired by this structure that they took it to Pixar and then almost like implemented in almost every Pixar story that you see. So I think that's a really beautiful thing, and that's a really effective tool for anyone who wants to write storytelling, like to do storytelling.
Yeah, it's one that I use as well. So yeah, it definitely helps with brainstorming. You can put everything in 7 sentences, and you can then work on those 7 sentences, swap sentences out, as it were, and change the story and things like that, without having to write everything out. Sort of spending 6 months writing something out that you don't like anyway in the first place. But yeah. Glad you mentioned that. Yeah. Cheers, buddy.
Cool.
Have a good weekend.
Thank you so much, Neil. You too. Goodbye. Thank you for this. Have a nice weekend. Bye.